Sydney is one of the great family travel destinations, and not just because of the Opera House or the beach. It's because almost everything that makes it special is spread across a city that's genuinely easy to get around, largely by ferry, and where 2 very full days of activities barely scratches the surface. There are 2 things you need to sort before you travel, and if you leave either of them too late, they will cause real problems on the day. We'll cover both in the next couple of minutes. The printed itinerary for this trip is in the description below if you want to follow along or take it with you. The first thing to sort is the Opera House tour. This sells out, particularly on weekends and in school holidays, and you cannot just turn up and buy a ticket on the day. Book it in advance through Get Your Guide. The link is in the description. The tour lasts about an hour, covers roughly 2.5 kilometers of walking, and involves around 300 stairs with no lift access and nowhere to sit. Flat, comfortable shoes are essential. If anyone in your group has mobility concerns, there is a step-free accessibility tour. Contact the Opera House directly to arrange it. The second thing is Taronga Zoo tickets. The zoo is cashless and getting busier, so book through Cluck before you travel. For getting around, forget taxis and Uber for most of this trip. Sydney's ferry network is genuinely excellent, and 2 days of activity in this itinerary is almost entirely built around it. The simplest approach is to tap your contactless bank card or phone directly onto the readers at ferry wharves, train stations, and bus stops. You'll be charged the adult fare automatically. For child fares, children need their own Opal card, available from newsagents and convenience stores across the city. The weekend cap of just under $10 Australian per adult makes the ferries exceptional value if you're there on a Saturday or Sunday. For day-to-day supplies, sunscreen, water, snacks, anything you've forgotten, Woolworths and Coles are the main supermarket chains, and both have central city locations near Circular Quay. There are also convenience stores throughout the rocks and around the CBD. Sydney has intense UV even on overcast days, so sunscreen is not something to leave to chance. Start at 9 in the morning at the Opera House. Check in at the Welcome Centre on the lower concourse at least 15 minutes before your tour time. Late arrivals are not admitted. The tour itself takes you inside a building that is far more complex and interesting than its famous exterior suggests. The story of how it got built, the budget overruns, the political fallout, the architect who never saw it finished, is genuinely dramatic. The guides are good, and the access to performance spaces that are usually closed to the public makes it worth every minute. After the tour, walk straight into the Royal Botanic Garden, which adjoins the Opera House on the harbour side. It's free, it's beautiful, and it gives children somewhere to run around after an hour of standing still. Follow the path around to Mrs. Macquarie's chair at the tip of the peninsula. It's about a 15-minute walk from the Opera House, and you'll get one of the best free views in the city. Harbour Bridge and Opera House in the same frame, with the water between them. Worth the walk. For lunch, head back past Circular Quay to the rocks. Pancakes on the Rocks is a reliable option that works well for families. The Museum of Contemporary Art also has 2 cafes with excellent views over Circular Quay, and neither requires a museum ticket to use. After a rest break during the hottest part of the afternoon, head to the Harbour Bridge at around 3:30. The pedestrian footpath runs along the eastern side. Entrance via Cumberland Street in the rocks. It's completely free, it's pram-friendly, and the view from the middle of the bridge looking back toward the Opera House is one you won't forget. Allow 20 to 30 minutes to get to the other side. Once you reach the north side, walk down the steps to Milson's Point, and you'll find Luna Park directly at the base of the bridge. Entry to the grounds is free. Rides are paid for individually or with an all-day wristband. It's an old-fashioned fun fair with a heritage-listed entrance gate and a genuinely good atmosphere, and it works surprisingly well for families with younger children who need something less structured after a day of sightseeing. From Luna Park Wharf, take the ferry back across the harbour to Darling Harbour for dinner. The ferry drops you right into the precinct, which has a wide range of waterfront restaurants at different price points. It's a solid end to a full day. Day 2 starts with the ferry to Taronga Zoo from Circular Quay. The crossing takes 12 minutes, and the view en route, Harbour Bridge on one side, Opera House on the other, is part of the experience. At the zoo wharf, take the free shuttle bus up to the main entrance at the top. The layout works best going downhill from there, following the path through the exhibits and finishing at the lower wharf when you're ready to leave. Taronga is a very good zoo. The harbour backdrop is unlike anything you'll find at zoos elsewhere in the world. The free flight bird show is worth timing your visit around, and the Seals for the Wild presentation is reliably popular with children. Allow a full morning. The zoo has its own cafes and picnic areas if you want to eat there before heading back, or you can save the lunch budget for Manly. Return by ferry to Circular Quay for a rest break, then head back out to the Manly ferry at around 3:30. The F1 crossing to Manly takes 30 minutes and is, by most measures, one of the best commuter ferry routes in the world. It goes out through the heads into the open harbour, with views back to the city. It's worth doing for the journey alone. When you arrive at Manly, walk along the Corso from the wharf toward the beach, and pick up ice cream on the way. There are several good gelaterias along the route. From Manly Beach, follow the coastal path south around the headland to Shelly Beach. It takes about 15 minutes on foot along a clear, well-maintained track. Shelly Beach is a sheltered cove that's noticeably calmer and less crowded than Manly. The water is clearer and it's much better for children to swim in. Spend an hour or so there before walking back to catch the return ferry at 6. For dinner, you have two genuinely different options. The SkyFeast at Sydney Tower is an unlimited buffet and a rotating restaurant on the 82nd floor with 360-degree views over the city and harbour. It's bookable through Get Your Guide, and it's the kind of dinner that children tend to remember for a long time. Both the views and the fact that the floor is slowly turning while you eat. It's not cheap, but it's a special occasion meal rather than just dinner. The alternative is the cluster of casual restaurants in the Rocks or around Circular Quay, which are perfectly good and considerably easier on the budget. Both options work. It depends on what kind of trip you're having. That covers the full 48 hours. Sydney is an expensive city, and the budget does reflect that. But the Opera House Tour and Taronga Zoo are both genuinely worth what they cost, and a lot of the best things in this itinerary are completely free. The Botanic Garden, the Bridge Walk, Shelly Beach, and the ferry views. The full printable itinerary with timings, costs, and all the booking links is in the description below. If this video was useful, a subscribe helps the channel more than you might think. The link is in the description, and we add new city break itineraries regularly. More destination guides and content are available at tiredbuthappytravel.com. If you have any thoughts or feedback on the Sydney itinerary, or if there's a destination you'd like to see us cover, leave it in the comments. We read all of them,